Hi everyone, my name is Anna. Welcome to my very first vlog, my very first YouTube vlog, which is actually going to be my very first pregnancy vlog. I have always really enjoyed watching moms here on YouTube, pregnant moms specifically, and kind of following their journey and following their milestones and all that stuff. So I'm really excited to come and be a part of that. A little bit about me. My name, like I said, is Anna. I'm 28 years old. I live in Brooklyn, New York. I'm married to a wonderful guy named Sean. We've been married for 2 years. Our anniversary is actually coming up on this Tuesday, so it's almost 2 years, which is really exciting. This is actually my second pregnancy. May of 2013, I found out that we were pregnant for the first time. It was about 6 months after we got married, and we were so excited and had never been through this before. And unfortunately, our daughter was stillborn at 7 months, at 26 weeks, which is really sad. And there's been a lot of things that we have had to go through in order to get to the place where we are now, in which we're pregnant now finally for the second time. So my daughter passed away almost exactly a year ago last year, September 29th, 2013. And the reason it's taking us this long to get pregnant again is because we realized that I also had a septum going all the way down my uterus. So basically my child was being only carried on the right side of my uterus, meaning that there was basically half the space that needed to be in order to carry the ideal pregnancy, I guess. So it took me a while to kind of feel emotionally and physically ready to have that surgery. So I had that surgery this past April 2014. I had a heel for 4 months, and then after 4 months we were in the clear to try again, and 3 months later, here we are. So it's super exciting. It's been a really, really long journey, and I'll get into that in a little bit more detail in another video, but that's kind of the background in case you're wondering what that is. That is my little puppy, Pixel. Pixel, hi. You gonna say hi to all the people? Hi, love you. All right, so I am today 5 weeks and 4 days pregnant, which is really exciting. I found out at, I believe, exactly 4 weeks. My husband and I have been trying for 3 months, like I said. In trying to get pregnant, I was tracking my ovulation with these little ovulation strips that you can buy. I just bought a pack of like 50 or 100 from Amazon. And there's an app called Ovia, excuse my broken phone there, but OVIA, which is super helpful in tracking your fertility and ovulation and when you're supposed to do it. And it ended up working out. In our 3rd month of trying, I also tried going to a fertility acupuncturist just because I was just so desperate kind of to get pregnant, because we had been through this whole journey, and I thought that it would be so amazing if I was actually pregnant in the same time that our daughter passed away last year, which ended up working. I don't know what I have to think, if the fertility acupuncture did anything, or if it was just a mental thing, or if it had nothing to do with it, or if it had everything to do with it, or if it was just persistence or whatever it was. I don't know. But here we are. So the app told me when to take a pregnancy test. I was way too impatient to wait until the day that I was supposed to, so I actually took it 4 days early. I had a tiny strip that you can kind of buy in bulk. They're not inside of like the plastic thing that you like picture a pregnancy being. It's just like a little strip, and you pee into a tiny cup and put it in and let it sit there for 3 seconds, take it out, and read it 3 minutes later. this particular day, I was just really impatient. I didn't want to wait 4 days until like the time that you're supposed to ideally take a test. But I also didn't think that I was pregnant. So I took it in the evening, which I know you're not supposed to do. Took it in the evening, took a shower, washed my hair. I usually wash my hair at night. Didn't think anything about it. Kind of, started getting ready for bed. And then walked by the sink, remembering that I had taken that test, looked at it, and there was just the faintest line, to the point where I thought that I was imagining things. I looked at it, and my husband was actually on a walk with this little guy at the time, and so I didn't have anyone to show it to. So I was like, oh my gosh, am I, just wanting this to happen so bad that I'm like imagining things. Like I don't want to get all worked up if it's not what I think it is. And like I said, it was the faintest little line. So like you really had to like look in there to see it. And so I texted my husband, Sean. I was like, get back here right now. And he's like, okay, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, everything's fine. And so I met him in the kitchen where I was sitting with the test, and he walked in. He's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I think so. Can you please take a look at this? And I said, either I'm hallucinating or we are actually pregnant. We both looked at it. He was very skeptical too, because it was so faint that you could barely see anything. And so then we kind of took it as we might be pregnant, and left it as that. I took another test in the morning, which was slightly darker than the test that I took the night before. But it was still kind of like, oh, I don't really know if this is happening. So I went to work, came home from work, and bought, first response, or one of those that's supposed to be like 6 days before your pregnancy. And took it, and it was positive. And it was just the most amazing moment, because it's something that we've been waiting on for so long. We've been waiting an entire year to be pregnant again, and all the struggles that we've been through in the past year are, I wouldn't say they're finally worth it, but we're finally getting to that place that we've been wanting to be for so long. Like I said, I'll get more into our struggles with having my my stillbirth and my surgery on my uterus that I had earlier this year, and all that in a separate video. But for now, let's get into my 5-week update. So, like I said, I am 5 weeks and 4 days today. Some stats about the baby. The baby is the size of a peppercorn. I was gonna take one of these out and be really cute and hold it in my hand, but this is like a grinder, and I don't know how to remove this thing, so we'll just roll over there. That size, which is super cute, really tiny. This week, hold on, let me take a look at my notes. The baby looks a little bit like a tadpole. It has a little tail that's like the bottom of the neural tube and the spine. Obviously, the tail is going to go away once it grows a little bit. A lot of development is taking place in the brain. He or she is doubling in size every week, which is really cool to see. I can't believe that it's going to be, twice the size of that next week, which is really cool. Symptoms, I don't have a ton. It's still pretty early. I've been pretty tired compared to how I usually am. I haven't been so tired that I need to take naps during the day or anything, but I have been going to sleep really early. Usually I would go to bed on a weekday probably around midnight and wake up for work around 8. So it'd be 8 hours of sleep. But these days I am falling asleep at around 10 p.m. and then waking up around 4 to pee, and then trying to go back to bed, but then won't wake, or and then I'll wake up at like 6 a.m., which is still 8 hours, but I'm like falling asleep way earlier, so my time schedule is kind of shifted, which is fine. I mean, I'm really bad at waking up in the morning, so if my body wants to naturally do that, I'll take it. I'm having like tiny bits of nausea here and there. In my past pregnancy, I had no morning sickness at all, which was great. So I don't really know what morning sickness feels like. Um, I had maybe an hour of nausea like 4 days ago, which some people say it's a little early to be nauseous because that doesn't really happen until the 6th week. So I don't know. We'll see. Breast pain. Oh my God. That was the first symptom that I realized in my first pregnancy as well. But my boobs are huge. They're very, very large. I feel like they're maybe like a third size bigger than what they usually are, which might just be me imagining things, but they are quite large and very, very sensitive. I'm usually like a stomach sleeper or a side sleeper, but I kind of have to maneuver myself so there's like no pressure on my boobs when I'm sleeping because they're very sensitive. I've also had, which I had in my last pregnancy as well, this like shooting pain coming out from like the side, kind of like shooting in, which is just the breast growing and getting ready for breastfeeding and all that fun stuff. I'm peeing a lot, which is also really normal. Your body is obviously changing and your uterus is growing and making room for the baby. So in your uterus growing, it's going to put a little bit more pressure on the bladder, and there's just a little bit less room in there. Lots of burping too. Oh, acne, hormonal acne. I don't know how much you can tell. There's situations happening everywhere. I was actually gonna like wait a week or two to start these vlogs just because I was like, this is just not a great situation. But you know what? This is real life. This is what's happening to me right now, and this is just what it is. So we're gonna roll with it. If there is anything else that anyone is interested in, symptom wise, or you know what I'm going through, or anything like that, let me know. So that's that. I guess now I will show you my bump or lack thereof. In the beginning times of pregnancy, you're just kind of like bloated. I'm a little bit past that. I don't really feel that bloated right this minute or this week, which is good. But yeah, here we go. All right, so this is my non-bump. I don't know how well you can see it against my blanket here, but this is just a little extra mommy for now, just because I'm really bad at ever working out or anything. So you know, there's nothing there. This is just a little extra poochy pooch that I have. Yeah, nothing there. In case you're wondering what this is a scar from when I was a baby. I had my kidney removed, so I actually only have one kidney, which, you know, actually has to do with, a little bit to do with my stillbirth story, so I kind of get into that in another video, but just in case people are like, whoa, what's that thing on your side? That's what it is. Again, thank you so much for watching. I'm really excited to share my story with you guys. Feel free to subscribe. I'm going to try to every Saturday or Sunday upload these videos, and yeah, hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye!